Hey everyone, welcome back to AsArt with Nick and John, and our special guest today, as usual, we have our expert Kyle, and we have special super guest Taylor.
Hey.
So today we're going to be given our pitches for a new version of Harry Potter World, sequels, prequels, whatever you can think of. Everybody has their breakdowns, and we're going to rate it and see who's the master Harry Potter fiend.
Start us off. First, we're going to go over the rules. So we're going to be judging each other's pitch, and we want to hear from you guys in the comment too if you really like our pitch or if you hate it or if you have a better pitch than what we have here too. It would be wonderful to hear. But we're going to be rating it from 1 to 5 if we would watch the show. Like 1 meaning like I have no interest in the show, 5 like I need to watch it now kind of thing. So
wow.
You guys ready?
Okay, so here's my pitch. Are you all ready? You're all listening? You're all listening?
I'm sitting down.
Excited.
Okay, you're sitting down. Okay, so I'm pitching this to HBO Max. You are the people at HBO Max who decide if this series will get picked up. I don't know the terms.
We will judge.
Here is my pitch. It is a series that is world building the Ministry of Magic through the perspective of Kingsley Shacklebolt. That begins on November 1st, 1981, the day after Harry Potter's first encounter with Voldemort.
Nice! That's so cool.
Very detailed. Wow, you got dates.
Oh my god.
That's
We're
such
pulling
a
out
good
the
idea.
dates. So, I guess it's just some background on how I came up with this idea. When Nick first told me about this, pitch concept, I thought Ministry of Magic. I'm not a huge fantasy person. I'm very into like political dramas and just dramas in general stuff. As the more nonfiction it is, the more I'm into it. So I want to know the Ministry of Magic from that perspective of like Succession type of show, like the just intricacies of it. I know Succession is like a business, but that kind of like vibe, I guess, is what I'm looking at. And I just think there's a lot of unanswered questions about the Ministry of Magic. And so that's what came up first. But then the thought of like, okay, well, who's going to be the main character? Who's going to be telling this story? So I thought Kingsley Shacklebolt was a really compelling character because he joins the Order of the Phoenix. When I was looking at the timeline, it was in 1995. And then the battle at Hogwarts happens, and then soon after, basically like 4 or 5 years after that point, and then he's the Minister of Magic, and that's a really interesting character, and I want to know what he was up to between the day after Harry Potter's encounter with Voldemort to joining the Order of the Phoenix. So I have ideas about that. I don't know if I should just keep talking or if there should be questions.
I think this is a great idea because there's so much in the Ministry of Magic that is left like wide open. Like you have the whole time travel department, and like I think in Order of the Phoenix, right, don't they go through multiple different doors into like these weird rooms, and there's like stuff falling around, some guy's head turns into a baby and then it goes back to like normal adult thing. It's like the craziest place, this Ministry of Magic, and I feel like you can go so many different routes with it, but you can also have that political kind of Game of Thrones kind of like who's going for the head like throne, or who wants to be the leader of the I just think that's such a fun idea, and Kingsley is such a cool character in the book, and we really didn't get to see him in the movies, and it'll be so cool to really see his character. Oh, that would be awesome.
So let me ask. So we didn't really rate ourselves as far as Harry Potter knowledge in this so far, but I would say I'm definitely novice level. I've listened to the first book on audiobook,
and he's not in it.
Yeah, a couple times other than that. But so remind me who this character is, Mr. Kingsley.
Yeah, so he is an Auror. That's how you pronounce it, right? So would you consider that, Nick or Kyle, like as a detective? Is that like the way that you would describe an Auror to someone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would.
Yeah, it's just like the strongest defense against the dark arts kind of person in the ministry. Like they would go up against like the Death Eaters or anything else that would be a super threat, I guess you can say.
And they're considered like boots on the ground type. So that's another thing is like we're and I would want to show the Ministry of Magic, like the people who are kind of paper pushers or, you know, whatever. And then
sounds like a great, exciting show. We're going to file a report and we're going to get that Voldemort.
But you know, there are these guys that
like
are kind of like like law enforcement or like the detectives who are like, no, I'm actually doing the work. I'm seeing this stuff. So there's like that. And I guess also I should say that, you know, after Harry Potter's encounter with Voldemort, a vast majority of the wizarding world wants to believe or does believe that Voldemort is, you know, not a threat. So my idea is that Kingsley, you know, based on where he is and his detective work or his aura work, he kind of has these inklings that it's not the case, that Voldemort is a threat, which is the truth, and that he's kind of seeing these things coming together, and then, you know, which leads him to eventually join the Order of the Phoenix. And so kind of that too. So I don't know if that answered your question, but
no, totally. So John, in the movies, remember when Dumbledore gets like kicked out of his principal office and he does the cool thing with the Order of the Phoenix? He has one line like, you know, hate him or like him, you know, you gotta admit Dumbledore has style or something. Like, I think he has like a line like that or something. That's the character in the movie.
Oh, okay.
You may not like him, Minister, but you can't deny Dumbledore's got style.
Which we really don't get to see in the movie, but in the book, he has so many good moments in the book. He has a lot of good moments in the book.
And I like the idea of, okay, you're taking a character that at least people like myself aren't that, you know, don't have that much background knowledge on, but then you're still taking that person out of the regular context of the books and the movies. It's like stuff that we don't have already. So it's not just taking the extra tidbits that we didn't get in the movies or the books, but it's like new material with an existing character. That's kind of cool.
All right, Kyle. Yeah. I want to hear from Kyle.
I'm scared to hear from Kyle.
Well, I gotta tell you something, Taylor. I regret being the gentleman, letting you go first, because that was great. And to follow it up with my sorry excuse for a show is going to be pretty bad. All right. First off, bit of a confession. I have watched the Harry Potter movies and read the books, but I'm not really don't retain a lot of knowledge on it. So I'm an expert
Kyle.
of many things, but in Harry Potter I am not. So with that in mind, I will at least give you my pitch for this.
He's going.
Also, Taylor, we were vibing pretty hard because my idea is also around like, okay, if we were to compare it to a show, it would be Veep meets like West Wing or something, right? So here's the thing. It's going to be in the cabinet of Millicent Bagnold, right? So she's like kind of like the Wizarding World Winston Churchill, right? During the battle with Voldemort, right? And the thing is, however, it's not focused on her, but around her cabinet and like subordinates, right? And it's about because one thing I love comedy around is bureaucracy, just like the inanity of it, just the weird rules and just
I'm not
really
alone
crappy
here.
situations. yeah, you know. And so I just think like something like that could go for quite a while, because we have stuff that's like super serious, but it's over the backdrop of this sort of silly, like dramedy, I guess, basically. And I think it'd be really cool. That's it. That's all I got for that.
It? Oh man, come on, I'm just kidding.
Oh man,
so it's interesting that we have two sides of it that are more like kind of
Ministry of Magic.
Yeah, that's very interesting. That's very cool. So do you guys have, when you were thinking of this stuff, do you have like other shows that you're taking inspiration from, or movies?
Flashback.
Like Succession type of show, like the just intricacies of it. I know Succession is like a business, but that kind of like vibe, I guess, is what I'm looking at.
Okay, if we were to compare it to a show, it would be Veep meets like West Wing or something, right? So
end of Flashback.
Or are you really just thinking in the context of the books, like stuff that you'd like to get more exposure to?
I was doing research and I read that the Minister of Magic has to introduce themselves to the Prime Minister. I don't know if this was in the books, but that's like one of the things they do is they like show up to the Prime Minister's office in like a painting or so I'm like, that is hilarious. And especially
such a good part in the movie too. It actually, the book starts off that way in the Half-Blooded Prince, because there's like a new minister of magic, and he like, okay, chap, just want to let you know this is what's happening in the world of magic, and he's like overloaded, like, who's Voldemort? And he's like, well, you don't have to worry about Voldemort yet. He may be a threat. So there's like a whole like chapter dedicated to that scene. Anyways, go on. Sorry about that.
No, but I think that's just like, comedy gold, especially with my time, or like my first episode being in 1981 is like Margaret Thatcher is the prime minister. So I'm just like, that just needs to happen. I just need to see.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, that. So yeah.
I love both of the ideas so much. I love being in the Ministry of Magic. Well, it's so funny because my original idea had to do with Ministry of Magic, and I scrapped it because it was too much like the boy who lived. I found out I'd never read the Boy Who Lived, the play, but I found out it was really close. My pitch was really close to that, but so I decided to go the other route. Hold on, I gotta pull up my notes.
Because there's only two routes to travel. There's the one that's
990 AD. That's where I want my show to take place. Because think about it.
Whoa.
What's the most impressive show HBO has ever put up, and everyone's favorite? It's a medieval show, right? Like Game of Thrones is their bread and butter. That's where they make their money. So I'm like, oh, maybe they want to go back in time and do another medieval piece. But
wait. So you're saying AD or
AD?
BC?
AD, because that's the year
Okay.
Hogwarts was created.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be based around two best friends. My inspirations for this was Prince of Egypt and Civil War. So you're gonna have I'm kind of twisting their backstory.
Civil War,
the Marvel
like
movie, the Marvel movie.
Okay, I was like, Prince of Egypt and Civil War.
Well, because you'll see, cause I'm doing like the brothers.
So confused.
I'm doing like the brothers and like best friends, but they butt heads, but they're both like right on both sides because of their beliefs and stuff like that. So basically, I want to start it off where, Slytherin, he's a kid and non-magical people destroy his family. So he has a hatred for like the half-blood or the mudbloods because he's so tainted by the experience, right? And then he meets up obviously with his good friend, Gryffindor, and he's gonna, they're gonna be buddies and stuff, and they're gonna be like, hey, how can we do this better? And then, they're gonna try, like, we want to start trying to teach kids stuff, but then every time they try, like, they get kidnapped and punished. It's like very gonna like dark, like they can't practice magic at all because every time they try, because of the beliefs at that time and stuff, they burn witches and wizards, and it's like, oh no, this is bad. So dramatic events would cause them to create Hogwarts, but then once Hogwarts is created and they're like, oh, we have something so great, later on in the seasons, Slytherin's gonna be like, we only can allow purebloods into the school. And that's when, like, they're gonna have this bond from so much struggle and building the Hogwarts and everything, and to the point where he's like, no, you're wrong, because those are innocent people and stuff. Then there's gonna be the clash and stuff, and then you'll see like the best friends friendship rip apart because they're so steadfast and firm in their belief system. So
I have one question.
yes.
How many musical numbers do you plan to have?
I'll only have a musical number when they create the hat, because the hat sings so many times in the books, and he needs his moment to shine. Anyways,
cool.
That
so
was
you're going
my
back
pitch.
to the origins of Hogwarts then.
Yes, so it would involve the creators and all that stuff, and I think it's cool because it's like all the mystery. You can't. I feel like in your mind, in my mind, you can't have a Harry Potter movie without Hogwarts. I feel like Hogwarts is like the heart of Harry Potter. The idea of it's based around going to school, and everything's based around Hogwarts. Like even with that Fantastic Beasts, they try to leave, and it's just not the same. Like it's like you want that school aspect because it was created around kids being able to go to a magical school and stuff like that. So I feel like that's my random pitch, because I always want them to go back and do origin stories, even like in Star Wars. I want to go back and do the original stories.
Now, are you going to be like the showrunners of Game of Thrones, and you're going to stick to 3 seasons only? Or if HBO Max wants more seasons, are you willing to give them more if they want it?
I don't know if there's more to give. I feel like, the first season's them struggling, and then at the end, they'll like have the idea to create Hogwarts. So the second season would be the creation of Hogwarts and all the struggles, and they're like, oh, maybe we have to do a spell to like protect it. It's like all the issues of how they get kids in, and all whatever magical stuff is happening at the time, because I don't even know if the Ministry of Magic's even created at that point. So it's almost like, them trying to do this stuff on their own and stuff like that. And then the last season will be the butting heads, and maybe even, Slytherin does harm to kids and stuff. I mean, he did place a chamber in Hogwarts to destroy mudbloods, so it's like, he left a basilisk in the castle to kill kids. So, he's
complete opposite of
pretty
twisted now.
Yeah.
How rude. So I want to ask, because obviously I don't know, in the books, do they go into this history at all, or just very surface level, or is this like after the fact lore that J.K. Rowling has kind of let out? Or
you just know that they're friends, like they're all really good friends. You just you only get a little bit of backstory on them. That's why I'm kind of twisting the backstory, trying to add more drama to it, like they're really close friends and stuff like that. And then all we really know is like they all teamed up to build the school, and they named each house after them. And there's little things they did, like they all put their magic into the sorting hat, so each type that they wanted to enter their house would go there. And then they all did something special, except for I want to call Slytherin special because he left a freaking killing snake thing in the basement.
Again, how rude. If I saw a killing snake in the basement, I would not know. No. It's almost as bad as spiders. Almost.
Anyways, so because my other idea was about time travel, and now it's not going to work. So.
Did it have a flux capacitor? How does
It's been done.
Yeah, so for so I asked all of you like where the ideas came from, because I find that the inspiration for an idea as fun as the actual idea itself. So I kind of looked at, we're getting a lot of sequels for movies and prequels right now, and sometimes you get them and you like them, sometimes you get them and you wish you just kind of had left stuff up to mystery. So one of my favorite games, and it's a very popular one, it's called Knights of the Old Republic, and it's based like 2,000 years before the original Star Wars, movies that we have. And it gives you're still in that universe, but it gives you this whole amount of freedom to create in this world completely separate stories. And Nick and I had talked about it a number of times. So in The Mandalorian, we really liked at first how it's just this Western, he's on his own, no connection, but then they've started connecting it, trying to make all these connections to mainstream Star Wars. And so I like the idea of you're going back, maybe Hogwarts is there, or maybe it's leading up to how they got to Hogwarts, or maybe it's even before that. I mean, obviously magic is already existing, you have all these things, but you're able to be in that world and really form a whole different scenario than what we got having the Harry Potter kind of series. And again, like how far back is really kind of dependent on okay, do you want to go way far back to where we're just getting the ideas and formations of things, so it's still tied in a little bit, but I also get like the idea. So in the game, at least in that Knights of the Republic, they had it to where, yeah, you already have the Sith and you already have the Jedi, but it's okay, they're in completely different phases. There's no like winks and nods to existing stuff because that's before all that. So I thought that would be really fun to where, again, maybe Hogwarts is around, maybe it's not, but you're able to kind of pick and choose. And if you have multiple seasons, you're having different directors, then they do have the complete freedom of, okay, I can mold my own little corner of this and not feel like I'm stepping on someone's toes, or it doesn't kind of fit into the existing lore, because they have kind of free reign of that. As long as it doesn't change anything that Harry Potter can't exist anymore, then obviously beyond that they have their own kind of possibilities. So that is my pitch. It's more of an abstract one.
Very abstract.
Pages like Nick. I didn't have a script like Taylor, so but I'm also the novice here, so what you gonna do?
It's very vague.
Yeah,
you can have it anytime, anywhere.
Well, one of the things that I didn't know, and that's why I asked so many things about the books, is like I don't know how far Hogwarts was supposed to go back. Right?
So,
that's already been established.
You would rather that than them redoing the main story as a show?
I would rather them keep it in the world, but you're able to completely have a whole new start within that world. So you're not disregarding what's already in that world. Like there's magic, and you have these.
So almost maybe like the other schools.
The other schools, as far as what?
There's multiple schools throughout the world, like magical schools. So maybe then you have full free reign. I think there's only like paragraphs on all the different schools where it's like full open white.
Oh, so you were saying that if Hogwarts wasn't around, it could be about another school or something like that. You're saying.
Well, yeah, or if even if Hogwarts was around, there's multiple different schools
Yes.
and events that
Yeah.
happen around the world.
Like how there's
Yes, like-
different. I was gonna say there's different ministries of magic, right? In like the U.S., there's one. Like the one that
Yeah.
we see in the books is in England. So yeah, like
Yeah.
schools. Is that what you mean, Nick? Throughout the world.
Yeah, there's
In that way?
there's multiple ministries of magic, and they like go to the different ones, and yeah, I mean that's why like the Tri-Wizard tournament, it brings the different schools together, and we got to see tastes of schools, and even a little bit I think with the Ministry of Magic too. Like I think I don't know if Kingsley, but another character jumped over from a different Ministry of Magic or something like that too. I can't 100%.
I mean, there's a lot of content in the Harry Potter universe that mirrors the real world,
Yes.
right?
Mm.
It seems like the Wizarding world developed alongside the Muggle world, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a mirror in some regards, or just
Or the
Things
magical people
developed
are molding it. They're molding the real world.
Oh.
I guess we'll find out when we look into the Ministry of Magic. We'll have those
Yeah.
those questions answered.
I mean, they're
Kyle?
totally doing it, right?
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Like, if they're meeting with like the president of the United States or whoever the leader of the country is, like, by the way, this is what's gonna happen, bub. Like, whoa,
Yeah.
dude! Like, he's already
Bub.
telling him like what to do and stuff like that. So,
Oh my gosh.
all right, guys. So those were our pitches. Everyone will kind of write up your scores. John's abstract thought.
yeah. Mine's more of like if I was going in there and doing an overall pitch, but I wasn't the writer.
So basically,
it's
John,
the
you
writers
must
themselves.
you must love my pitch then, because it's like way in the past before all that stuff. So I'm feeling like a 5 coming from you right now. I'm 5 vibes.
Yeah, I feel it's interesting that you guys your pitches worked together,
I know.
John and Nick, and then me and Kyle had kind of similar
Yeah.
things going on.
I know.
So.
Well, I can't decide if mine's going vastly further back than Nick's
Yeah,
was,
that's
because
true.
my idea was, early Hogwarts or before Hogwarts, but I didn't know what already existed in the lore
Yeah.
for that. So
And-
it's
But I think the farthest back it goes is to like Merlin, I think, and stuff like that. 'Cause
Yeah,
I think-
so
yeah.
speaking of that, you two, John and Nick, gave me an idea for a Merlin-centered one about the Wizarding world, though.
yeah,
but
exactly.
He doesn't really interact with Hogwarts or anything. He's like in passing, right? He's like,
Yeah.
we could go to Hogwarts. He's like, nah.
Yeah, yeah, but
is that like Monty Python? You want to go to Camelot? Nah,
'Cause-
it's quite boring.
because
Tis a silly
technically
place.
Merlin exists in the Harry Potter world. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys remember. There's a trading card with him on it in the book.
Yeah, he's a pretty OG wizard.
Yeah.
You know. You know what I'm
Almost
saying?
as powerful as Dumbledore. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
How dare you?
How dare you.
Wow,
I'm just
serious
joking.
face. Taylor gave a serious
Dumbledore.
face.
Okay, guys. So
I got scared on my end in Colorado. I was like, she gave
all
a
right,
serious
guys. So
face.
in order, I guess that we presented, do you guys want to give the scores for Taylor? 1 out of 5, meaning you can't wait to watch it. To I don't really care for it. 1. Go ahead, John.
So I'm gonna lump Taylor and Kyle together.
Oh
because
wait,
they're
you
kinda
can't do
coming the
that.
same-
You can't
But
do that.
but I'm doing it. It's my
That
judgment. I
is
can do
that is the
whatever I
biggest
want.
cop out I have witnessed on this show.
No, you
Fine,
can't
you
do
don't
I
have to
am
say it.
beside myself.
I like the idea. So I usually don't like extreme political movies, but in this world of magic, I think it works for me because it does, like Taylor was saying, she likes kind of more political stuff, and I like fantasy stuff more, but it's political stuff in this world of magic, and that kind of works well for me. If it was just like straight up, I've never seen House of Cards, I'd probably love it, but I'm like, political stuff, I probably don't want to get into that. I might really like it, but this has some of the fantasy, it has some of the serious stuff, so. And Kyle kind of gave the kind of same thought. So that's why I'm kind of grouping them together. So for me, like those would be something I would be really, really excited to see because I like that mix of both things. Even if
What's
it's
the
more
number?
political, it's still in the world. 5s. I would say those are 5s.
Dang, that's a 5 for both. Dang,
Yeah,
you're
5 for both.
super
Wow.
nice.
Thank you,
Oh
John.
my gosh.
Man,
I
wish-
just handed out stuff.
I wish he was a teacher at the school I went to. I feel like I would have just got an A for showing up. Just kidding.
Yeah. Nick, he didn't even take my classes. He still did better than
All right,
most of the-
okay.
a lot of students that took
So
them.
let me get this straight. You're giving a 5 to Taylor and a 5 to Kyle.
Yes, that is correct.
Wow.
Dang. I mean, okay, Nick. Let me
When
guess.
does
2.
production start?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're already judged for Kyle, what are you giving me?
I would say you're like a 4.5.
Dang.
Well. I like the
4.5, even though Kyle only had a very basic idea.
Hey, you keep those comments
No, I love it.
inside.
So the thing
So
that
nice to you guys.
I didn't want to say it, but the thing I really didn't want was like a prequel, young Dumbledore, like the Muppet Babies Dumbledore. Like I didn't want, I didn't want that, but that's not to say that it couldn't be interesting. But again, a lot of it goes back to, I don't know how much of this backstory has already been shared. From what I understand, a lot of Dumbledore is like, there's a lot more story on him and other characters that I don't get just watching the movies. So it's like, I don't know how much was already out there. But yeah, so going back further, I like that Nick was kind of going for
4.5. All right. Yeah. So next would be, okay, so you judge them all. Okay, so I guess, Kyle, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Taylor, I will give your idea a 4.65.
Gosh, man.
Wow.
I would say that see, that's still in terms of grading, that's still in the A range for sure. I would definitely be excited to see it. I do like political dramas, but not too heavy-handed political dramas. If it can have a bit of like brevity to it at times, then I would be so down. So I would say 4.65 on that.
Now, I need to ask, where did you did a 4.65. Where did that 0.05 come from?
Yeah, so...
what detail was that?
Yeah. I cannot reveal that.
I just, when you gave the decimal places multiple, I was like, wow, okay, we're going to hundreds. All right.
That's so funny. Okay, and then I guess me.
Then Nick, I'll give yours a. I love origin stories too, but I would say that'd be more along the lines of a 3.98, just because. Yeah, it's almost 4. I love origin stories, and we're going really far back in time. I like that because that's in that. I love that period of history in terms of Europe, right? We're coming out of the Dark Ages and into the Middle Ages, right? So that's a cool time period when things are still pretty chaotic.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess I'm gravitating towards that score, partially for the story and also for the historical context.
And I know you want to see Hogwarts without bathrooms because the witches used to magic away their.
I really got to see that.
Poop in their pants. They used to magic it away instead of flushing it.
I really got to see that at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. Okay. Now Johnny Boy's. What's Johnny Boy's score?
According to Nick, there's not much of a story there, so you guys don't have to judge mine if you don't want to. Mine's more of like a broad level pitch. That's fine.
We could not do that. My score is not too kind to John.
1? Is it a 1?
Because my grading also involves how developed the idea is.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
1.234. Yeah. So is it a 0.1 or no?
No. So as a premise,
2.
I think the premise alone is ripe. So I would say it's like a 2.18.
2.18.
Yeah,
very good.
Can I have a 3.14 pi?
Nope. No. It just doesn't work like that, John. I'm just kidding.
Dang it.
Wow, I wasn't thinking about doing the halves and stuff. I was just going to go for solid numbers. So I was giving Taylor a 4.
A 4?
Yeah,
a 4.
Wow. Yes, I know, because you
teacher.
have to be like really precise with this stuff. You can't be like John, Mr. Nice, give everyone 5. You have to like really think about it. You know what I mean? And then Kyle, I'm giving you a 3 because I wanted more. I wanted more meat. I see Taylor had a lot of meat.
How dare you, sir? No.
He's not even giving critiques. He's just throwing out the scores shotgun rapid fire. You don't need feedback. I'm just kidding.
And then John, you stole my idea. And I'm just kidding. No, John, I really like where you're going with it because it's so open-ended. I'm going to give you a 2. I'm going to give you a 2.
Oh, thank you. Woo.
I'm going to give you a 2. I just
wow,
wish,
guys. I
wish
think Taylor
there was more
came out
to
on top
John's.
here.
Oh, yeah, Taylor totally won.
Yeah.
Crunch the numbers.
But,
so then do I not have to share my scores then?
That's right. Oh my gosh,
needs
that's
to
right.
rub in how bad our scores are. I saved her for last, the winner.
I called it too early because Taylor still has to give her.
Yes. I knew Taylor was going to win right after her first pitch, so I was just like, okay, we gotta see what she's going to rate our terrible ideas.
All right, here we go. Kyle, you're gonna get a 4.5 because
Dang.
we're on the same wavelength here. I feel like we're just going the same direction and we're doing well. We're really crushing it.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna
I
give
agree.
Kyle a 4.5. I'm gonna give Nick a 4 because I'm not really into that period of history, as I've said, but I trust Nick's creative talents to just make it work. So
Period
I'm
of
gonna,
history as far as going back to the beginning of Hogwarts, or
yeah, I'm just not like I said, like I like more current day stuff, more so
so even if
not
it was
a fan of
politics
fantasy,
the time,
basically.
it still wouldn't be-
Politics
Oh,
of
okay,
the
okay.
She
of
hates Lord of the
550
Rings.
AD.
She hates. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just,
Okay, well,
no, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
but like I said, I trust Nick to
thank
deliver.
you.
So I'm gonna give him a 4. And then John, I'm gonna give you a 3.5 because I think there's some promise there. Get another name attached, and I think we'll be good to go.
Yeah, you know what, John? Who did you have in mind for casting? I might change my opinion. If you name one good actor, I might give you a
Wow,
3.
just put me on the spot.
Please don't say Arnold Schwarzenegger. Please don't.
Now that's all I can think of.
Oh, it's so awesome. Guys, let us know down below if you thought any of our ideas were even close to a 4 or a 5. And it's okay. You could be honest because this was just fun for us to do. And we would love to hear your opinions. And what's so cool about the Harry Potter series is there's just so much information there to take from. And that's like the biggest takeaway from this is like, no matter what they do, they have so much to draw from because there's so much information in the books and stuff where it's going to be hopefully decent because HBO does a great job with their shows. I'm a huge fan of His Dark Materials. We like Raised by Wolves. The Game of Thrones was fantastic, and they just have such a great history and track record of good shows. So I'm happy HBO has it because now they can compete against Amazon, who has Lord of the Rings, and Disney Plus, who has Star Wars. Now we have like the 3 powerhouses as series.
Yeah.
So win for everyone.
Let the battles
You just have to
commence.
pay for all of the streaming services to see them. That's the only
And
thing.
Yeah.
did you guys hear HBO is gonna give an option where it's cheaper but you get ads while watching it?
Ah.
I think another number of apps are doing that right now. Where Kate is doing, I think, Discovery Plus. All the shows she loved on YouTube TV that had ads every 5 minutes for 10 minutes
Yes.
are on the Disney Plus, and you can pay, I think, $5 a month, and you like every 30 minutes or something you have one commercial, or you can pay $7 a month and you get no commercials. So like, as long as they're not totally ruining the experience, that's not too bad.
No,
Let's face it, everyone. We traded the continent of cable television for the streaming archipelago. So, it is what it is.
That's true.
It's true. It's true. But if you guys like Harry Potter, we have tons of deep fakes. We break down the VFX, and we do a lot of stuff with Harry Potter here because it's a
lot of Harry
good
Potter
series.
stuff,
Yes. And then you check out our podcasts and also follow Kyle on Instagram. He's an amazing artist. He draws our merch. Go get the merch if you guys like it.
Check out AsArt. That's for the audio and video links. We'll see you on the next AsArt.